Zygoal.
Hello, Mario.
Yeah, I changed.
Copyright. Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Hi. We are the Girlies that read. I am Sarah.
I'm Jazzy.
And today we're talking about something very important.
Especially in fantasy books.
Highly important for fantasy.
Very, very
Look,
important.
it is not required in fantasy, but makes sense in fantasy.
It does.
And look, if you have a fantasy world that doesn't include this in some capacity, what's even the point?
Literally.
You may as well just have a medieval setting.
Yeah.
It's not really fantasy.
No.
And that is
Magic systems.
dun dun dun. Magic systems. A good magic system. Actually, what should I? Let me phrase that. A magic system can make or break your fantasy book.
Oh, 100%.
Because if you create a magic system that doesn't make sense, or is too complicated, or just doesn't pay off properly, you're losing me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need a magic system that's gonna make excitement but makes sense. It needs to be able to understand it in a way that you can go, okay, yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because while this is fiction,
it still needs to be
based in reality.
Yeah, it needs to be understood.
Yes. Because if you turn around to me and just say,
everyone's got magic.
For no reason, like, we need a backstory, we need development, we need something to have, like, where does it come from? Just saying, oh, I can move things with my mind, but there's no consequences, there's no reason for it. Like, come on, I need something needs to make me believe it's there. Why is it there? And, like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't need to be full in depth. I don't need DNA analysis. I don't need, like, scientific explanation.
No.
Just something needs to have established it to make it kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Something in the world that makes it realistic. For fiction. That sounds like a really bizarre thing to say, but for some, I'm sure readers we understand.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So today, we're kind of going to go through magic systems in some of our favourite books.
We're
going to discuss them. We're going to discuss them a bit. We're going to talk about, like, what we like in the pros and cons and those types of magic systems and what kind of, like, interconnects and where similarities are and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Basically, we're just going to talk about magic because we can.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick
Because we are the girlies that like magic.
We are the girlies that like magic.
More than happy to kick us off. Let's do it. So I kind of grouped these two together.
Yep.
We have got, like, witchcraft, witches. So we're talking Harry Potter with his spells and stuff. We're talking Crimson Moth with, like, blood spells, blood work spells. Yeah, we're talking about our Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa. And we're talking about our Avada Kedavras, our, cloaking spells, things like that. I think I've said enough. So
basically, spells.
All the spells.
That's the magic system we're working with, is spells.
Yeah.
And honestly, both examples, so Harry Potter, Crimson Moth, have fantastic magic systems, I believe, in their established worlds. One of the things I actually love most about Harry Potter's magic system is while it kind of is unlimited in the sense you can manage to do everything.
Whatever you want.
If you determine how it works in the world.
Yeah.
So you can create spells, you can create potions, there's, like, enchanted objects, but everything comes from something. It's not just there for no reason. It's been established at some point, someone's worked this out, they've determined how this happens through experimentation, through study. Like, there is establishment of that. And similar to the Crimson Moth, they have their spells, and obviously it's something that, like, they have their spell books, they have history, they have skills they've had to develop and grow in and learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I like, also, they both have restrictions.
Yeah.
Because it's not just unlimited in the sense, you can cast as many spells as you want and you never have any consequences.
Yeah.
Spells take effort, they take energy, they take skill level
and
to
also
achieve.
In Harry Potter, it's like, well, you have to know the incantation, you have to know how to move your wand to do it, and then it's like, if you do it wrong, well, something could happen. You could blow up, you could turn invisible, you could move around and whatever.
You could die.
You could die. Crimson Moth, it's like, well, if you don't have willing blood to do the spell, then you actually can't do it.
But you also need enough blood.
Yeah.
So you can run out of blood, because if you use your own blood, well, you could also just bleed yourself out to death.
Yeah.
So you need the energy plus the blood and everything. So there's things that are required. You need to have, there are limits to everything.
Yeah, there is.
And, like, not everybody can accomplish everything. Only some people specialize. You have areas where some people will be better at charms in Harry Potter, or some of them will be better at potions, or some of them will be better at arithmetic, or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
There's all these different aspects, and so it's like you would normally in the world. I'm better
have
at
strengths and weaknesses.
like I'm better at writing. Jazzy's better at design. You know, like we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and it reflects that. The magic system, which is also what I think makes it enjoyable, is because you could I could see myself, I could become a potions master.
Oh, yeah.
Like I love cooking. I love all that type of
that
stuff.
Could be fun.
So I'm like, if you're good at cooking, you can be good at potions master.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Channel my inner female Snape.
You do that, girl.
I
You
will. I will.
Yeah, I want to be like a charms professor. I feel like that would be fun. I could turn into a cat.
Nope.
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 Or transfiguration.
Thank you.
Same.
Nope.
I don't know. I think they're both fun.
We were on a high and she just broke my heart.
Still, charms, transfiguration.
They're two different subjects.
Still, could be fun.
Yes, but it's McGonagall who turns into a cat because
Yeah,
she's an
I realised
animagus and she's the
that.
transfiguration professor.
Yeah, I want
Flitwick,
to be an animagus.
Who is the short person?
Yeah,
That's the polite way I'm putting that because I don't know how to refer to people.
a shorty.
He's
a short king.
He's a short king. Love the actor, by the way. He does a fantastic job. He plays
he
multiple roles in the series. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Love him. I know. Sidetracked.
Yeah. So, any cons to this?
Cons. Well, look.
I think we kind of discussed it.
I think
They
we
have their
did.
limits.
They do, but it's not necessarily a con.
But I think that actually makes it more of a pro, as in it makes sense that there's a limit. Otherwise, you'd just go crazy and you'd be power hungry and there'd be no end to it. Yeah.
But I think that's the good thing about this one. I don't really have a con to list for this type of magic system because it really does establish the world. So for Harry Potter and Crimson Moth, I can't. Is there ones we could think of that magic system that have that type of magic system that don't do it well?
I can't think of any at the moment. But it's a very simple magic system. There's spells. Yeah, that makes sense. It's been done. We understand.
Yeah, I suppose it's been established that how a spell magic system works is you understand. Okay, there's generally an incantation. There's motions.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's ingredients that are needed for it.
Yeah.
We all have, as fantasy readers, have the established understanding of what that entails.
Yeah.
So if you do that type of magic system, you're not really having to go from scratch. You're just kind of having to fill those requirements. Okay, does it need this, or this?
Yeah.
And you can kind of tick it off if it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're definitely two worlds that do it really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. Well, another one that is a little bit more complicated, which this one actually, I think, just off the top of my head, I'm already thinking I can think of some pros and some actual cons for this one, is I'm going to go towards the Kindred's Curse series by Penn Cole and look at their realm magic that we've got. Okay, so the Kindred's Curse world. We have 7 different realms. Each realm is dedicated to one god in particular and is filled with their descendants. So they're kind of like demigods, so they're half human, half gods, and they are being gifted powers from their dedicated gods' abilities. So the easiest one on the top, because there are so many, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but we have our main one where we have our main characters initially, and they have light magic and shadow magic.
So you can either have kind of one or the other, or maybe be really gifted and have both,
which is not common. It's kind of rare to have the ability to access both. And this type of system, it's simple to understand the concept. So each realm you go into, you're going to find people with different powers, which the powers generally are opposites. So you have someone who has a dark to light.
But I think there's enough differentiation between the realms.
Yeah,
so it's not just everyone has shadow magic or everyone has light magic. It's no, there's differences, and then obviously people will use them for different things.
Yes, and then you can use them in different ways.
Yeah,
and there's a clear division between the realms. You know.
Yeah.
Where you are based on the magic. The magic is also very instinctual magic. So it's not necessarily it's not incantations, it's not spells, it's not having. It's kind of I suppose very similar to how.
I want to say elemental magic because that's what we can go.
Yeah, kind of it's just instinctual. You can just say I want to do it with this, or I can control it. It's kind of like having telekinesis over that light or shadow and controlling it where it goes. So
and
it's
you still train it.
Yeah,
so
you have
obviously
to develop
can get better, but it's still already there.
Yeah. So, like, you instinctually have that ability, but you need to learn to harness it, how to use it, how to control it. You have to gain the ability. And so that's kind of like the pro. Like, it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
It's once you're in the world and you learn them, you kind of like, okay, yep, makes sense. The reasoning of where they come from is there with the gods and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's not come from nowhere. It's God-gifted abilities that have been passed down through generations.
Yeah.
Right. So, but then when we get towards more the pro side, is I suppose it does become a bit complicated with how many there are.
Mm-hmm.
And then also understanding who,
well, the thing is, because there's the crown in each realm, they can like their realm's power works in their realm, and they have the power in their realm to turn off other people's powers from different realms. Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
No. Oh, but yeah, because it gets to a point in, I think, book 2, and then she goes, "Oh, I guess I need these people to help me save this thing and do this thing, so they need their powers. So, here you go." But then she can't take that back.
Yeah, so, well, that's just like
It's
some of the
very interesting.
limitations, though.
Yeah, like there are limits, and I think that works well.
Yeah, so there definitely are the limits with it.
Yeah.
We do, I suppose, get a little bit of the main character going a little bit OP, but there's a reason for her being OP.
Yeah.
And she still has her limitations. Like, she's still learning. She's not really, like, completely over the top.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one of those things where it definitely makes you think. It challenges you. Like, it's not... Like, it has its simplistic elements, but it also takes time to get to understand.
Yeah.
And it can get a little bit overwhelming because, like, even now, like, we've read 3 books in the world. It's been a little bit, but, like, I don't remember them all. Like, there's so many of them.
No.
And when you have the kingdoms which have the opposing, so, like, you've got 2 different options, it's hard to remember what is what. The only reason I remember the light and dark is because it's the main one we're in the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there's a realm that has mind abilities.
That's Umbria, something like that.
Something like that. There's ones who can move earth. There's one who can do fire. There's one who does, like, technology. And, like, so, like, it's really hard to remember it all. So, like, in a sense, I suppose that is a bit of a con where there's so much of it. It is hard to remember everything. And when you're reading it, it's fine because, like, you're in the world, you're going through it. It makes sense at the time.
A year after reading it,
it's really hard to, like,
quite
explain and also, like, remember and think of. And also just trying to reflect on, like, it's a lot. There's a lot there.
There's a lot, but I think it's well done.
Oh, but also, hands towards Pen Cole for coming up with all this and making sense to her, and she's able to keep it, like...
Yeah, consistent.
Consistent, because that would be a very difficult thing to do with something so complicated.
I
suppose also a con could be considered is it might be too complicated, so it could turn some people off. So if it is overwhelming, that could be a con because some people may be like, not too sure about that.
And I think it only gets more complicated as you read further into the book. Like the first book actually doesn't really touch on the other realms that much.
No, because
once you're established in the world, you're into book 2, book 3. You're like, okay, now we're understanding more about the wider world. That makes sense.
Yeah, and because it becomes more relevant, so it's opened up and explored more. So you don't get it all thrown at you at once, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully.
Because that would be a lot.
No, thank God.
But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Alright, I've grouped the next ones. So with these are kind of put like elemental magic, so it's very similar. So we've got When the Moon Hatched, which is actually very similar to Kindred's Curse because it's kind of, there's a god which has a certain power and it's an elemental power.
Oh yeah, because it's like a combination between elemental and god powers.
Yeah, and then they're speaking to you, and then that's how you can hear it, and then you can use that power.
Yeah,
that's for When the Moon Hatched. I put Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Obviously.
Because elemental magic, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Percy Jackson as well. Because I'm saying elemental magic, but like, it's like, not to a point. Hold on. To a point. Because it's like you've got your godly parent and then you have powers based off them. So for instance, Percy is son of Poseidon. He's son of the sea god. He has sea powers. He can control, like, water and stuff.
Yes, okay.
But if
that's
you're a son
not
of,
technically elemental.
Yeah. But it kind of, I'm saying it groups with the gods,
I would
children of gods.
Okay, yes. Okay, so Percy Jackson, I would say, connects to Kindred's Curse in the sense it's god-descended powers.
Yeah, okay.
I would not call it an elemental.
Yeah, but
that's just convenient because Poseidon's the god of the sea.
Yeah. I'm grouping it within the same. We've just discussed Kindred's Curse. Now we're going on to this, and then also elemental magic.
I would say Percy Jackson first, then elemental magic would make more sense.
Anyway. But yeah. If you're a son of Hephaestus, yeah, you have like, you're talented in the forge. You don't, but you could have fire powers. No, you can. You can.
Do they?
You should read on in the series. That's all I'm gonna say.
Aggressive. Someone's getting heated today.
Yeah, because I really like that
Do you
character.
need a nap?
Leo Valdez. If you
Someone
know,
needs
you
a
know.
nap. But
Bruh.
yes, but no, I love elemental magic. I love elemental magic because, again, it's one of those things where we have an established baseline for it. So it's like everyone is gifted, generally, especially if you look at Avatar Last Airbender, those who have bending abilities are gifted magic of a particular element. So it's earth, water, fire, air. And it's kind of established that, so obviously depending on what type of elemental magic, you can have instinctual elemental magic. Avatar The Last Airbender is kind of like it is instinctual, but it's like a training. So it's like you have forms you have to, particular movements you have to do to get a particular outcome.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it's, again, you have to work for it, you have to train, you have to build it up. It's not limitless. Everyone has limits. Like in Avatar The Last Bender, waterbenders, they need to have access to water. Yes, they can pull water out of the air, but that's also still limited because there's only so much water.
Yeah, it's
And
not
then-
like full power.
Yeah, but then they also have like elements where like they can be strengthened by the moon. So they're stronger in the moon because moon controls the tide, and they control the tide because they're water benders and da 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 da. So it's all those elements mixed in together. It kind of like, so it has its upsides and then also its downsides. And like firebending, they can kind of just pull heat from wherever. Like they can just pull it out of air, but they're also stronger when they have it to pull it from a source. Or there's a whole basis in the whole story where it's like if there's a comet that comes past, the comet makes them stronger, and so forth. So like it has all of its
Upsides,
downsides, all that, and it's balanced really well.
Yeah.
You even have one character who can do it all, the Avatar, who is literally there for balance, which I think is fantastic.
It's fun.
But also, I actually don't think I have any downsides to elemental magic because it's so simplistic.
Yeah, I think it works.
It is a good one. It's honestly, if I hear elemental magic, I'm done. Like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think people can complicate it because they can be like, oh, like let's say like shadow magic. They'll be like, oh, well, it's not light magic, it's shadow magic. Like they can get very niche with it, whereas you could just say, I'm trying to use an example, but that probably wasn't a good one. No, like let's say.
No, I get what you're trying.
You know
You're trying
what I'm
to say,
saying?
like basically, like
They
sometimes
try
they
and funnel it.
overcomplicate
Yeah, they
it.
try and funnel it down.
They try and make it unique in the way, like they try. I've seen maybe make it stand out. Like this is my own unique take on it, but it becomes too complicated.
And then it's like if you'd left it at elemental magic, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But then if their specialty was like that, it would make sense.
Yeah. Well, I thought if you want to look at it like a specialty version, you can take from elemental magic. Going back to Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
If you look at the fact, so like you find out throughout the series, there's more than just the 4 elements. So, like for example, metal bending. Metal bending is created by an earth bender. When you think about it, metal has elements of earth throughout it.
Yeah,
so
does
an
that
earth
make
bender,
sense?
once they understand how, can manipulate metal
Yeah.
because of their earth bending ability. Same with water bending. They develop blood bending because there is water in blood. So they're able to control the water in the blood to literally control blood, which means
is
they can
crazy.
literally control people, which is insane. And there's elements of that keep going is you can find ways to make it unique and expand from that. But it still makes sense.
It's still
The original element of where it comes from is still there. They're not trying to funnel it down and make it unique and too complicated. The same rules still apply. It's just a unique element of that aspect.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going to try and do that, don't overdo it. Don't overcomplicate it. Sometimes just leaving it as the simplistic form is best.
Yeah. Yeah, enough said.
But then what's some other things we've got? So we've touched base on godly powers with Kindred's Curse, and Percy Jackson has that because obviously you have demigods. But one unique one that's definitely been something that's become a bit more popular. It's not as unique just to that series. It's probably been done before this as well. I don't have any knowledge of, like, off the top of my head, but the Providence cards from the Shepherd King duology. So this magic-based system is a series of playing cards, essentially, which are imbued with magical abilities from the gods, that when you hold this card on your person, you have the magical, like, you can utilize the magic ability
you have
it holds.
to tap it. So if you are in possession, you can obviously use it whenever you want. You tap it 3 times to like activate it, and then you can put it somewhere or keep it on you. But when you tap it again 3 times, it stops the magic power, or if someone touches it.
Yeah.
So if I'm using it and then I pass it to you and then you take it, now my magic is gone, and then you can use it as you see fit.
Yeah.
But it's so fun. I really enjoyed this.
I love the fact though that this one, like, there's certain elements of it where like it felt really fresh.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that's been done a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, there's always been things like playing cards and magic cards, and like if you pick something up that's magically imbued, you can use the power. But these particular ones and the way it's done in the Shepherd King duology was really different and unique.
Yeah.
And the consequences and the pros for it.
Yeah.
So like one of the playing cards is about beauty. And so
it's
you
the
can,
maiden card.
it basically makes you beautiful, stunning, appealing. You are basically flawless. But the downside of using that card is you basically lose your emotions. You have you turn to you turn yourself into like a masterpiece, like an artwork, but you become that artwork physically. Like you have no emotions. You feel nothing while you're using it. And the more you use it,
the worse it gets.
The more addictive it gets. And even there's one point where one of the characters in the book, she uses the maiden card, loses the maiden card, but it's still active. And she's physically stuck in this state. She can't undo it.
Yeah.
Because she can't access the magic card to undo it.
And she doesn't know where it is.
And it's like the worst consequences for it. And it's just like one of those things you're like, oh, the stakes of that is just like through the roof.
Yeah.
And the whole book of like they go through the book of hunting down these cards and stuff. And it's such a good magic system.
It's very well done.
It's so easy to understand. It's not overcomplicated. It's got good benefits and downsides. We experience both of them as well.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing. Like sometimes these magic systems is they talk about the dangers, but they don't always necessarily explore the dangers.
And have them actually present. Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes the best way to understand a magic system is if you're going to have the downsides to a magic system, which you should do, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because especially someone who's new to magic, if you've never used it before,
they'll just be like,
you're
it's perfect, it's amazing.
Yeah, you're going to push the limits.
Oh no, I broke my wrist.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because I was doing something.
Like, if you think about Harry Potter, they have to use their wands. Their wands are really important for teaching them magic. Ron breaks his wand in the second book, and he suffers the consequences of that the entire book of his wand being broken.
Yeah.
Like, so you, like, having those consequences and the characters dealing with those consequences is another growth point.
Yeah,
and it shows you the bad side. Because if you only see the good side, well, it's like it ruins the stakes, it ruins the tensions of it. And so it's like, it's really important. So the way it's done in Shepherd King with the cards, fantastic.
Very well done.
No notes. I have heard, just before they open that, is it Arcana Academy? I think
it has cards. I haven't
it's
read
got
it
a
though.
card. Neither have I. It's on my TBR. But that's also meant to have a card magic system in it, and I'm very curious what it's like compared to the Shepherd King.
Because this one, it's not just like there's 4 of every card. It's actually like there's 12 down to 1. So the 1 card is obviously the most rare, and then the 2 card there's only 2, and then 3 and 4 all the way to 12 or 10 or whatever it was. But like, so the more common cards, they're kind of just like, oh, you know, people use them, whatever. But then it's like the number 3, I think, is like the mirror card. Or number 2, I can't remember which one. No, it would be 3.
It's one of the rarer ones.
It's the 3rd one. And so there's only 3 of them. And so you tap it, you turn invisible, which is really cool. And so obviously not many people have those cards because there's only 3 of them. And so, like, there's so many cards, but then if you think about it, when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's a bit overwhelming. How do I remember them all? And they're all written in the riddles. And I was like, what? So I have to remember what the cards are, and then how many they are, and then what they do, and then the pros and the cons of them. But it was done really well in this book because it was like, you know, we're only really using what we need at that moment.
Yeah.
We don't have all the cards.
They do get all explained.
Yeah.
But they also get
like progressively.
Yeah, and I think there's 1 or 2 moments in the start where like everything's explained. It's like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But then as they become required in the story, they get explained more detail. You get to know more about them, how they work, and everything.
Yeah.
And so as you go, you get a better understanding, better grip. So that by the end of the duology, you're like, wow, that's a solid overall system.
Yeah, and it really worked.
And when you learn the origin story of where they came from,
oh,
it's so good. You're like, oh my gosh,
and it really solidifies it and actually makes more sense.
Yes, like it's so well rounded, so well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
No notes. Very well done, Rachel Gillig. Love you.
Fantastic.
Okay, next one. This one involves my favorite thing.
Dragons!
Yeah, fourth wing, dragons, signets, the Empyrean series. Basically, you bond with a dragon, you have a connection with your dragon, and then they give you like a magical ability.
Yes.
Basically it.
Well, dragons in general, in any fantasy, they're classified as magical creatures.
Yeah, they give you magic
So
powers.
they have their own magic. And I feel like in fourth wing, it's kind of established so that the magic dragons they get from a source of power,
Yeah.
which is in the earth. So they pull from this power.
No, I don't know anyway.
I'm pretty sure they pull from the earth.
No.
Well, they pull from somewhere.
They don't pull from the earth. I think they just pull from themselves because they are magic, maybe.
Maybe I've read too many fan fictions.
Yeah.
I swear they pull it. Whatever.
No,
they pull from a source.
Venom pull from the earth. That's why.
And because I thought what it was the fact. So it's safe to pull magic from a dragon through the bond.
Yeah.
Because they pull from the earth, but they channel it in a way it makes it safe. But if you pull directly from the earth, which is what the venom do, it corrupts
I don't
you.
know if the dragons pull from the earth. But
That's what I mean. I can't remember. Look, I've read a lot of fourth wing fan
But,
fiction.
That's fine. But yeah,
Sometimes the line between fan fiction and
what's
canon gets a bit blurry.
Fair. But yeah, okay. Basically, you pull magic from your magic dragon, and then you have abilities.
And it's unique to the person
yeah,
and the dragon
kind
and
of
the
what they need.
circumstances of what they really need. So Brennan, who is Violet's older brother, he became a mender because he was desperate to heal her. He wanted to fix her and give her a better life because of her illness and her struggles. So that pushed him, and that's how he developed becoming a mender. Xaden, he's a shadow daddy. Love him so much. He developed shadow ability because of his need to hide, his need to stay undetected, to move without being seen, to accomplish these goals without getting caught. I never really understood, and I'm going to say this now, why Violet has lightning. If considering all those sub facts, and if you go through all these other characters, it makes sense why they get certain things.
Yeah.
But I don't actually know if it's even been discussed. But like, because Rebecca Yarros makes a really big point of the fact that that's the reason. Like, there's a reason behind why everyone gets their ability.
Guess we'll find out.
Is that thing? Because I was like,
maybe it's not fully explained yet.
Maybe not. But then we also have a second ability, which is
Spoiler!
Coming up, which we're getting to know more about. And like, what's the reason for that? Like, why has she developed this signet? Like, what's the reason behind it? And I suppose that is one slight downside I will say about this magic system, with this whole fact that it's developed from the bond and the person and the need, is that not every need makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like, so she's established it. Like, well, I'm picking on fourth wing here in particular, but I'm sure there's other things that are like that too. But like, if you establish that it's coming from a need, then it needs to make sense across the board. So if you're going to have like, comes from a need, okay, because, everyone's need needs to be established. It needs to make sense. There can probably be more than one need.
Because the thing is it a need for 5 minutes, or is it a need for their whole life? You know what I mean? Like, how far in advance did it have to be established? Exactly. This? Or is it literally just at the time of the bonding? What's the most important thing to them? Yeah, because people don't get multiple signets. You only get them basically if you have like a second dragon, or if your dragon has already bonded someone in your family line, is how it's explained.
Yeah, no, they've got this really big point of, you only get one signet. You get two, and you get two.
Except if you're a main character, and basically they've made some loopholes to make you cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look,
pretty much.
Violet's loophole is the only one that makes sense. Is she ends up with 2 dragons. But her whole having 2 dragons and having 2 signets is made so insignificant by the fact every other fucking person has 2 signets.
For a reason. But anyway.
Yes, I know. The Empyrean are plotting.
Yeah.
But look, it is fun. It makes it's easy to understand. There are layers to it.
Yeah.
But I do just think there's probably a few too many plot holes that can pop up from that typical type of magic.
Yeah, I think with this, it's still like you train, you develop it. Like, she can wield lightning, but it's not like she can just go bam day one.
Yeah, she's not flawless. It takes effort and energy and skill.
And training, and then she's still developing that. And then even, I think it's got to be Iron Flame, or, it had to be Iron Flame, where she's still developing it. Or maybe, I can't remember now if it's Fourth Wing or Iron Flame. And she's trying to, see how many times she can do it. So she's trying to build up her, I guess, magic pool.
Yeah. Well, she, in Fourth Wing, she gets pulled in with not Kaori. What's his name?
Forgot his name now.
The signet trainer. He's an a-hole.
Yeah.
And he makes her work on the mountain over and over and over again. And then in Iron Flame is when she gets to know Felix, and Felix is like, "You're going for big. You need to work on small." and like pulls her back and like changes her training up and like you're working on different elements. And still by the end of Onyx Flame, she really has Onyx Storm.
I was like, which one?
No. What is it called? Yeah,
Iron
no.
Flame.
Oh, yeah, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm. I'm getting the names mixed up. But by the end of that book, she still really doesn't have control. Like, she's still, like, just a powder keg waiting to explode.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's good. Like, it means that she hasn't, like, it's not something she's mastered overnight. Yes, she's improved. But
she's still working
struggle.
on channeling it
It's
and
built.
using it. Yeah.
But if we look at some other different types of magic systems, I suppose that are kind of similar to what we've already discussed. And I feel like that would be like Fey magic. Because Fey magic, which is very common in books about Fey.
Hang on, it's very common.
I know I said that. That wasn't even intentional. It just
It is very
That's
common,
really funny.
actually.
But yeah, like it's always generally, it generally falls into like the area of elemental magic.
Yeah.
It kind of it's like intention magic. There's sometimes potions, but that's generally more like healing stuff.
Yeah.
But I suppose like it tends to like focus on transformation, like turning into animals, like in Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
No, not transfiguration. Just that would be like Animagus from Harry Potter. Okay. But like Rowan, he can turn into a bird. And then a couple of the other of his little group, they can turn into like
cadre.
Cadre, that's the term.
Yeah.
Can turn into other animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And Aelin, she has her ability to shift between her human and then her Fey form. Mm-hmm. And so like it's all like they talk about transformation a lot. It's very similar to elemental magic. So that's like also very broad in the sense it's just kind of like that's just established for Fae. But I think what's more interesting is the magic system that we get in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. Now I have not finished the trilogy just yet.
I am now 50% through the last book.
Woo! It is on my TBR to read book 3, but I've had a lot of other things happening, and I'm a little bit nervous to read it because I read books 1 and 2 through my reading slump, and I'm scared it's going to put me back in a reading slump. Not because it's bad. I love it. It's so good, but it's very dense. And I would probably say this is one of the magic systems that's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to
explain
it?
Okay.
You explain it, because it's more fresh in your mind.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I haven't even put all of the magic, but basically there's different races like of people, right? And so we've got the Fae, and they're a bit different. They can access like a bit deeper magic, and they it kind of outworks. And then in the Fae, they've got the different like cities, and they kind of have their powers. That's established in book 2. But in the first book, we've got the humans, so we've got the Voltaine and we've got the Solari. And so and then also I think I can't remember.
Try not to spoil the book, Jess.
No, I'm not. But
she looked at me.
No, I'm just thinking.
How do I say this without spoiling?
No, okay, hold on. This is why I wrote notes. But the Voltaine is basically where Tisana goes, and so there's the towers, and they help you develop your powers. So once you've got that magical gifting, you work on it, you develop it, as you always do. But there's 2 different streams, kind of. So the Voltaine people, they have very inwards magic. So this is what Tisana has. She can access people's thoughts, like read their memories, look into their brain, fears, emotions, and they can work within a person's
psychological
body.
Magic.
Kind of, yeah. It's not so visible. So she can work like within a person's body and a mind, and then they can obviously magic or scene magic. They can manipulate water and air,
which is similar to
a kind of elemental. Yeah. So that's kind of what they more steer towards. They can't really wield fire because it's not one of their like. How do I explain that? It's not one of their giftings. Yeah. And then the other side is Solari magic, which is outwards magic. So they're your more fire wielders, stone wielders. They can, do explosions, and they can manipulate human anatomy. So in terms of a healer, you can have a healer on the Voltaine side, and they can work within your mind and within your body and just go, oh, yeah, I'm telling the tendons, yep, they're fixed now, no worries, done. But Solari is very much, okay, I need to knit together the tendons and actually manipulate your body to fix it.
Yeah. So it's it is quite a complicated system.
Yeah.
But if you want to put it in a really simplistic term, like I
Go
said,
on,
so like,
summarize it.
well, the Beltane, so it's very psychological. It's very mental. It's very like mystical in sense. It's not in reality.
Yeah.
Versus the, what do they call it? Solari are very physical.
Yeah.
So it's in
you can see
the
it.
world. You can see the action. It's physical motion. It's, which I suppose in sense, if you think about it, the elements that they kind of get are similar.
Yeah.
So like fire and earth, it's very solid. It's very real.
Yeah.
It's very kind of cause like, you know, physical changes.
Yeah.
Whereas water and air, it's very kind of flowy and light and
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, soft in a sense. But also, the one thing it didn't, I don't know, well, I feel like it's kind of related to their magic in the sense is they also have very different appearances.
Yes.
So like these people are very separate. So like you stand out. So if you're a Beltane, you're
it's almost
basically
like
albino.
Yeah,
so you have white hair, generally I think it's white skin.
Yeah, or very fair.
I think very fair, pale eyes, all sorts of things.
Something
So
like
you
that.
have very, very soft light features, whereas the Solaire are opposite. So they're generally tanner, darker, dark features, dark
Yeah.
eyes. And then you have our main character, who she's kind of a cross between the both.
Yeah, she's
She's mixed race, essentially. So she kind of has a bit of her foot in both worlds.
Yeah.
But overall, the magic system,
But her magic is Voltaine. Like, she can't wield stone.
as far as we know, I don't know. I think
Guess you'll
it's
find
meant
out.
to be a bit special. But then we
Yeah,
have
you'll find
another
out.
element of the magic system where it comes, which is a very big plot point, is basically, I suppose it's like, if goes, oh, well, we didn't even mention this in the Shepherd King duology, back to
What?
the nightmare, being, so,
Oh, no, we didn't. That's
because
right.
there's an aspect essentially of possession. So there's like a magical spirit or a soul, a parasite, so many different ways you could refer to it, of like a soul living in someone and you
Yeah.
having access to their abilities and their
But
magic.
but okay, yeah, that's the nightmare. But the nightmare in Shepherd King isn't like from the card. It's her
No, but it
magic from
is-
the mist.
Yes, but it's still a type of magic. It's still
Yeah,
part of the
okay,
magic
okay,
system and the
yeah,
magic lore. It's all connected anyway.
Yeah.
But that's gets into spoiler territory.
Anyway.
But like, yeah, so then we have the other aspect in this one, which is we do have another type of magic.
Like a magical being, I want to say.
Well, it's like a soul spirit. Like it's a
Yeah.
part of another creature
Yeah.
that literally gets put into the main character
Yeah.
and enhances her abilities,
Yeah,
but
and
also
can take
molds
over.
her abilities with its own
Yeah.
and creates another type of magic altogether. And it's very horrific and powerful and deadly. And
Yeah,
depending
it's a
on
weapon.
depending on who has this spirit, because it does pass through multiple people, the magic changes.
Yeah.
And it does become a little bit messy in the sense it can be it takes a while for this magic system to kind of settle. Well, it did for
Mhm.
me at least.
Mhm.
I found it took a while to really understand everything and understand the rules and
Mhm.
blah blah. But once you kind of, by the time you're in book 2, you kind of, everything's kind of established and you understand
Yeah,
what's
you
going
know
on.
what's
And it's one of those systems, again, it has really good points where it has its limitations. It takes training, effort. Like this whole part of book 1 is our main character. She ends up going to this tower to learn her magic, to train, and she gets put in an apprenticeship where
Which
she's
is really funny because Max has Solari magic, and so he's trying to teach her, but his magic is different, and so she's trying to copy him and it doesn't work
no,
because hers is like Voltaine. It's really funny.
but it does, like in certain aspects. Obviously, like he does teach her how to do stuff, and their mentorship does work.
Yeah.
It's just they have to take a different route. to
Yeah,
do it.
and generally they'd pair them with someone of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a solid.
It's very interesting.
It's a very solid magic system. It's
Yeah.
very in depth. It is definitely. I would say it's probably one that leads more towards a bit high fantasy magic system,
Yeah, I feel like it does.
which kind of mixes in with like when the moon hatched and like
Yeah.
the more complicated
Yeah.
aspects.
Speaking of complicated, should we move on to the Night and the Moth?
Well, then I
It's
say
actually
it's
not that
complicated. Actually, I think it's rather simplistic. Oh, look, it's
There you
another
go.
Rachel Gillig. Rachel Gillig, she wrote the Shepherd King with her Province cards, but with the Night and the Moth, it's
Got-
similar
Yeah.
in some aspects, but it's also unique in its own way. Because basically we have, so in the Night and the Moth world, we have omens, which are basically gods.
yeah.
Essentially, that's how they're considered, but they're called omens. And each omen has its own unique tool or item specific to them that does something different. And when, again, you hold this element, you control the power. But if someone else gets it, well, then they get the power. So, like, there are different ways to get it. So every item has its own unique ability. It's limited to you having to hold the ability, and it's just one ability that you get. I think so. Like, one of them is teleportation. So, like, if you hold it, you can jump from, like, you can, I think it's a coin.
It's
you
a
flick
coin.
it,
Yeah.
and you flick the coin in the direction you want to go, and then where it goes, you end up.
You go there,
And you
something
catch
like
the
that,
coin as you land. So, it, like, you can teleport, essentially. I can't actually remember what that was off the top of my head at the moment.
But
It's been a while.
like that, but I think they've got
But they're simple concepts.
and each item has like two sides to it. I
Yeah.
mean, the coin literally has two sides to it.
Yeah.
But depending on which side, it has a different ability.
But I also think there's a pro and con to the ability. So, like, the teleportation, like, it's limited. You can only go so as far as you can throw the coin.
Yeah, they do have their restrictions.
Yeah. So, like, so it's a very simple system.
Yeah.
It's very easy to understand. You get introduced to them relatively, like, one at a time as you go through the book, and you meet each omen, and you see each of their ability. And then it's also, I like the fact that it's kind of like a transferable ability, because it means you're not like
It's not
one
limited to
person.
one
You still have to
person.
learn how to use it properly.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a possibility it can be taken.
Yeah.
And anything could happen, because it could just
Yeah.
disappear, and you're like,
It could
oh,
to
suddenly you don't
anywhere.
have that ability anymore. Well, you're screwed. Like, so, like, it makes a challenge, because you also have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
like
it
that.
does.
But it's another one of those that I think it's really simplistic. It's really fun,
Mhm.
and it's a bit different, because
it
like you
is.
don't have that very often.
No.
Maybe Rachel Gillick's next trilogy will get.
Something
Next
else.
duology will get another thing that's
Who knows?
transferable and
Who
unique.
knows? Guess we'll find out. Yes, and lastly we have from A Deadly Education we have like mana and spells.
There's one thing I can say about the book. It had a very
Go on.
interesting magic system.
Yes, and also if what's funny is I think it was maybe just after reading this or before reading this I was watching Solo Leveling with my husband, which is an anime, and I don't think you know anything about it.
No.
Which is fine, but very briefly, it has a very similar magic system. So in this, basically what you do is you kind of work out, you do things to build up energy. That energy is stored into like mana crystals, and then you use that to do spells, right? That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And so in Solo Leveling, it's the same thing, but he's like basically like leveling up. And so the more he levels up, the like harder it is to get that same energy stored. Same in Deadly Education, which is why she turns to knitting. Right?
Oh, I know. I think that's the funniest thing ever.
Because she was saying, because it's like YA, so I was trying to explain it very simply. But it's like, you know, the more you do something, the easier it is, and then it makes it harder to store to gain
So the harder
same.
something is to do, the more mana it produces.
Yeah.
So the better you get at a skill, the less mana it produces.
Yeah, so if you're doing push-ups and you do 50, and then you're only getting 50 points of mana, but if you do 50, then you're getting 25 because you're getting better at doing push-ups.
Yeah, so you'd have to do more push-ups to get
do
the same
amount
result.
of energy.
But then also, it's funnier because it was the thing she hated.
Was knitting.
They created more mana because of the frustration and stuff you get through it.
Yeah.
So it was like little quirks and stuff about
With
the
that.
magic system like that, which actually made it quite entertaining because
It
like
did.
that's not generally like it's very
No.
different. It's a bit unique,
It was
and
very
it was
fun.
very fun.
It was very,
And it
very fun.
did. There was a couple of moments it was quite funny. Like it made you laugh.
Yeah, and like they'd make magical like what am I trying to say? Like items, and they'd need help from friends who were in different like streams.
Yeah, so you're having to work
Yeah.
together to make a
But it's
magical.
like, but at the end, you still needed that energy. You still needed mana to actually put it together.
yeah,
and
it
do
all
the
goes
spells.
back to the base of mana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was very fun. I haven't seen that done very often.
Not in books. I feel
Not
like
in
mana
books.
is very popular in video games and
yeah,
I suppose
probably.
TV shows. Probably anime, because I have seen anime and
That-
manga
yeah.
that have mana-based magic systems,
Yeah.
so it's very popular in that type of aspect.
Yeah,
But
which
it is
probably why
definitely
it's
like
so
a
well
video.
done.
It's very much a video game
Yeah,
thing.
and you're storing your energy to then go and fight the big bad, and then you use that energy and so on and so on and so on.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was really fun.
Yeah. But there you go. So there's just a couple of magic systems. There are
Just a
probably
few.
there are so many more.
So many
It's
more.
one of those things. It's another element. Similar tropes. There's just endless amounts of them.
So many.
New ones coming about all the time. They're
Yeah.
different. They change up. They're the same things refreshed or redone. There's always going to be good ones, bad ones, medium ones.
Always.
But yeah.
And these are kind of just the ones that we've read together.
They're off the top of our head. We made a very quick list, and we just kind of like, what's some basic ones we can think of.
Yeah.
And look, there are pros and cons to all of them, I think.
Yeah.
You enjoy them more. I also think writing style has got it will reflects on magic systems as well, because
if you have a very complicated like magic system, you kind of want to have an easy to read writing style.
Yeah, because you don't want it to be like high fantasy with a stupidly complicated fantasy system. It just makes it even more unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to digest.
But yeah, so I think look, it's all about delivery as well, like how you deliver it, how you explain it, how it incorporates into your work. There are so many things that come into it, and we've brushed over just a few of them.
Yeah.
But we would love to hear from you guys what you think about magic systems. What are some of your favorite magic systems? What's the biggest flaw in a magic system that you've read? I'd love to know that. Like, let me know let us know some of the things that you've read and you go, that doesn't make sense, or that's really annoying, or that's really weird. Let us know. I'd love to hear, because like we've talked a lot about the positives today, because I don't think there's really anything on here that we've really talked about. They've turned around and went, that didn't work.
No.
But I suppose a lot of these books, besides Deadly Education, we really love.
So it makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
Or if you have any book recommendations with cool new magic systems that you think we should read,
oh, definitely.
put them in the comments. Definitely. I will read them.
Oh, especially if they've got dragons.
Oh, yes,
if
they've
got
got
dragons. She's there. She's with you.
I will read it.
She will love you.
100%.
But thank you so much for joining us today. If you did enjoy today's video and today's chat, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Say hello down in the comments. And if you want to see more content from us, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check us out on Spotify for some easier listening on the go. We also have an Instagram and TikTok that you can follow us on, where we post more short form content, other bookish things, highlights, reels, all sorts. Check us out on there. You can also find me, just my content, just me and my stuff, and the stuff I focus on, at quill.scribbler on Instagram and TikTok.
And then I am also on, funny enough, Instagram and TikTok.
No way!
What? Yeah, I am at What Jazzy Reads, and I do very similar things. I post reading vlogs and some reviews and some fan art, because why not?
Love.
Yeah.
Love. But yeah, but thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. But until then, bye.
Bye.